No, you're good.
Give us just a minute, Bosh. I'm going to give some introductions and we're going to get going with it. Just because we've been
Yep.
slowly but surely getting there. Hey, there we go. Oh my God. It was preposterous. It was electronical. It was computers.
Everything in between.
Computers.
Exactly.
Yes.
And but finally, and I mean this is an interview that's taken a minute to get done, only in the sense that we've had power outages, acts of
Oh
God, we've
yeah.
had
Reschedulings. You know.
well, yeah, and I was taking a
Yeah.
nap at one point.
We got to do the whole thing. We got to do. It's
Ladies and
time to do
gentlemen.
the thing here at Studio.
Studio. 586B.
586B.
Oh, 586B.
Yep.
Okay, 586B.
Yep.
Is that because we're in the basement?
I think it's because we're in the basement.
It sounds really
It
good, but
might
when you
be.
think about if there were 586 floors
It also might be because
and we're in the
broke. But, you know.
586 broke. That works
Yes.
too. Ladies and gentlemen, Bosh Nelson from Akron. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
We're a little silly if you haven't noticed, but we tend to go that way.
Yeah, but
Well,
it's better to be silly and have a personality than to be a stuck-up prick, right?
you know what? I tend to agree. I think that in the world of cactuses, you know what? There are more than enough pricks already. So let's start off.
We need more love in the world, not hate, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Right.
There you go.
Abso-friggin-lutely.
More love in this world.
That the whole point of what we're doing is trying to change the world by connecting the world. Reach out and go, hey, have you met my friends? Over and over again until we're all going, oh wow, I actually know you.
Yeah. Exactly.
I guess I can't be mad at you. You're a buddy of my buddy of my buddy.
So I can't be mad at you, man. You're a buddy.
I mean, the wild thing is in doing these interviews, as much as the first question varies all over the place, all over the world, literally, we get similar answers and relative realities no matter who we're talking to. But let's start with the first one.
Okay.
Where are you from, Bosh?
I am from Akron, Ohio. I then moved to a small town called Manaway. I don't know if you guys know Manaway.
Manaway?
But, yeah, Manaway.
I'm trying to think. Which direction from Akron?
North, up by, Streetsboro.
Okay.
In
Streetsboro.
Macedonia.
I know Matt. Yeah, okay. Now I can picture where you are.
Yeah, so yeah, it's like a small town. Literally, if you blink for too long, you're going to pass it. But I was up there for about 10 years of my life. And then when I was 16, went to Ravenna. And then now I'm back in the Akron, Cuyahoga Falls area. So kind of done a little bit of traveling. So
yeah, in a circle. I see where you're at, though. So you kind of hit that.
Yeah.
From Niles to Cleveland and everything in between, and a little, you know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
There we go. Those of you that don't know Northeast Ohio, from this corner over here to kind of about the middle, and then make a triangle down, and that'll cover the specific.
Cover everything for you.
Just north of the slush belt for the most part, with a little bit more snow than we get here, because we're like on the line and we get just nasty mess.
Yeah, we get sludge.
And you guys get a little bit of the lake effect, not much, but you get that blow off from Cleveland and stuff.
It's got to be a little nice, right?
Yeah. So as you go back through all those years and all those places, and I was thinking today of different memories I have, from when I was but a wee lad, and we were out getting soccer stuff for my grandson, and I can remember one of the coolest things about where we lived was because it was U of M married housing. There were people from all over the world. So I grew up with a love of soccer because if you had a ball and two rocks, you could make a goal.
Yeah.
And you would play and it didn't matter what the ball was, and you could have teams as big as you friggin' wanted. However many people there were, you split up and you try and those two trees over there and these two trees over there, or this guy's baseball glove and whatever. That when you did, it was like the reason football is so huge all over the world is
you can play it just about anywhere.
I've seen people make paper balls.
Yeah.
For real?
Well, as a replacement, like if you get one blown off in the war or something.
Yeah.
So what's your first memory?
What are your first memories, brother?
Oh God, take me way back. Um, I think so. My mom and dad grew up on like '80s rock, as we were talking a little bit
Yeah.
earlier before
Okay.
the show went on. When I was like 3 or 4, I think my dad got me like my first little like kid guitar, like super cheap, super kiddish or whatnot. And from then I would always just like every day from the day I woke up, I like wanted to strum the guitar and I wanted to listen to like my mom and dad's music. And from that point on, like I've kind of transitioned to that's kind of always what I've wanted to do for my life, do music. And it's such a healing process for anyone. If there wasn't like music in this world, I think a lot of people would be going crazy right now, more so than we already are, right?
Right? Well, they need to get more in touch. So in my head, what I could hear is, so you bought a busted 6-string at a secondhand store, didn't know how to play it, but he knew for sure that he
That he wanted to play it.
Yes.
The other one it's that one and the sound of isn't that the one with one guitar? And anyways,
Yeah.
My excuse for never learning guitar used to be that my grandpa bought me a right-handed guitar when I was a kid. And I never went and got lessons. I never sat down and just tried to play it just because it didn't feel right.
go watch Roadhouse and you'll lose.
So you're a lefty then.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We both are actually.
But
Oh,
a pair of
okay.
lefties
Wow.
over here.
Pair of lefties, damn it.
Coincidentally. Yeah, right? Oh, no. It's a conspiracy.
I thought
There's two
thought you were
lefties.
gonna say, yeah, true lefties. I thought your story about how you didn't want to learn the guitar was because you found your love for the bass guitar. Said no one ever. Oh.
Said no one ever. Said no
Yep.
girl ever. Drummer,
Yeah.
lead guitar, singer. Bass guitarist in the back. Really sad.
Really sad.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, even the fucking keyboard players get more love. Damn it! Come on now.
Hey man, you got those piano fingers. Girls will love you.
There's a reason.
There's
Yeah,
a
no,
reason
it's
for that. Yeah.
One guy's got rhythm.
Women love those piano fingers. What can we say,
What
right?
can you say? What can you? Well, it cracks me up because playing guitar is funny. And I'm telling you, though, if you ever think there's an excuse for not being able to play guitar, if you really, really want to do it,
Okay.
watch the movie Roadhouse.
Roadhouse?
Yeah.
What's that?
God, why can't I think of his name? Blind guitarist, plays on his lap. You'd swear, if watching him, you think he's playing a dulcimer or a mandolin or something.
Okay.
Self-taught blind guy. So he plays on his lap.
Oh, so Oh, okay. I got you.
Wow, God, I'm so embarrassed. Hold on, wait a minute. I know who to ask. Wait a minute. Hey, Google. You there? What's the name of that blind guitarist that was in, Roadhouse?
I think it was Jeff Healey.
See, you are dead
See?
on. You
You
are
got
faster
it.
than Google. You win
Yeah.
a prize.
Quicker than Google.
Get him off the line. Get an address. This man gets a prize package.
You get a car. No, I'm just
There's no fucking prize package, bro. None. There's no
I got a
prize.
free 1972 Chevy pickup truck. Oh, yeah.
Dude, I could use a pickup truck. I ain't giving that away if I've got one. Dude, 72, 50 years to the day, that'd be kind of a fun truck to drive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I know my music, damn it. Jeff Healey's a fucking great guitarist.
Jeff Healey's amazing, and I'm
Phenomenal.
telling you, it's worth watching him play because
Yeah.
I'm a left-handed guy that didn't stick with it because I'm left-handed and it was a right-handed guitar. Restrung it, took lessons. Ew, my fingers hurt too much. You know what? No, there's no excuse. It's like if you think you're ugly and you can't make it, go watch Cheech and Chong. If you think you can't play guitar because of some kind of like limitation, go watch Jeff Healey. It's just very
exactly.
facts. Listen, if you think you're held back by your height or your appearance, I'll Danny DeVito I'll Danny DeVito you all day.
On now.
Come on. Everybody loves Danny DeVito.
But what's the first rule?
What's the first rule?
Look like Jason Boreanaz.
Yeah, of
the
course.
first rule is look like Jason Boreanaz.
First rule of life is look like Jason Boreanaz.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you can't be.
If you can't be Jason Boreanaz, you have to look like Jason Boreanaz.
You have to. I exposed him to Angel, which was a show that came after Buffy the Vampire Slayer, that came a good deal before Bones and whatever Jason, what's his name, is currently doing. And we've also, BoJack has a lot of Jason Boreanaz references. BoJack Horseman, if you ever get a chance,
Really good show.
it's worth losing your head over. But right now we're not playing because we want to know, how do you work?
So when I first graduated high school, I kind of, part of me, not related to the music side, I had a college scholarship to play college basketball at Akron U.
Congrats.
But I ended up not going through with it for some personal reasons or whatnot. But my first job, I worked at Dick's Sporting Goods because they want college athletes there, yada yada.
I was there today.
But then,
Go ahead.
oh, for real?
Yeah, I was at Dick's. Cleats for soccer.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Soccer player.
So there you are with Dick's.
So, we're out. Yes, there I am. Used to work at Dick's. First job at the good old Dick. Can't
Right.
get enough of it. Oh, and then I ended up working at a music store for a couple of years. That's really where I kind of was,
Found your
picking up
jam.
more instruments, more than guitar.
Mm.
I finally learned piano, and I actually met some great people. I like a local music store scene more so than like a Guitar Center or a corporate shop like that.
I follow that. I relate to that. That I like people that are into
The technical
diving into their influences and finding there's some.
enthusiasts.
Yeah.
I
extent.
wouldn't know who Dr. John was if my dad hadn't made me listen to it.
Who's
That-
Dr. John?
Yeah.
Everybody go look up Dr.
There's-
John. Look up Gree.
Yeah.
And it's old blues magic kind of, but it's powerful. Anyways, go on. Sorry.
It's good.
So you're at the
It's good.
record store.
They don't make music like that anymore. I will say that.
We were talking about blues the other day, and I told Ross one of the things you have to see is the Blues Brothers, for history's sake.
Yeah.
That the number of like historically amazing blues artists in the movie, it makes it worth just seeing it. Let alone the number of police cars they destroy. That we were talking about the idea that you can go back and listen if you want to understand blues. Go back and listen to Robert Johnson at the Crossroads. Understand why every blues guy after that talks about going to the Crossroads and about making a deal with the devil to get to play that good. And you're like,
Yep.
and you can feel it. And that's from 1920s. Am I 20 something, isn't it?
Yeah,
That the
1920s
Johnson
Robert
recordings are
Johnson,
from. I mean,
yeah.
just something crazy.
Yeah. He
And-
doesn't have very many recordings, but the ones he does are.
I used to have a best of that I rolled with in my car. Anyway, so there you are at the record store, and you're finding lots of additional influences as you're there. I'm assuming.
Yes, and like along the way, I've met like tons of great people, whether they're like just starting out as musicians or like people that like work at like clubs, bars, or whatever. That's how like my band got in. Like there was just so many opportunities when I was working there.
Well, yeah,
And
you're very active. Go ahead.
yeah, and from that point on, I have my own band project called the Bosh Nelson Band, and we've been up and running for a couple of years now. And we kind of got started by when I was working at that music scene because people would come in here, hey, we need bands for this night, and then I started doing like small bars and clubs, and then now we're playing like 2-3 times a week, and it's
Working it out.
keeping me
That's
busy.
huge.
So what I'm hearing is the cheat code to music is go work at a music store. It sounds like the cheat code.
one of the reasons, yeah. Because you got to think, so many people go in there, whether you're a musician or like a club owner, because at the music store we worked at, we had like PA gears and light shows and stuff, so a lot
Right,
of
so you got
owners,
things
bar
that
owners,
bar
DJs,
owners need.
the full range.
yeah.
That's
So-
kind of because when you were saying that, I thought, wow, you know what? There's some piece of that I feel like I get from the internet now too, One of the things we're working
Yeah.
on is a Discord where musicians come, and as opposed to, there's no pretension. There's guys from, our goal is we've got a guy that's going to be part of it from the late 70s all the way to everybody doing stuff right now. And
Okay.
right now, there's a lot of beats, but our goal is
Yeah.
to make it to be that full range.
Yeah.
Because where I find some of the most power is like, man, it's like you're saying at the music store, because when you grab from here and grab from there and grab from, think, Peter Gabriel all over the world grabbing his different sounds, the Police, there's a million, Radiohead
Right.
goes a million
Yeah.
places with their sound. We watched an EDM guy on a video that they were playing Albert Hall. They were playing Royal Albert friggin' Hall, right? And in the middle of the night, they hear the Albert Hall organist practicing, because Albert Hall has a full size, as big as the walls on one end of the hall organ. Okay, so I mean the pipes are
Yeah.
friggin' huge. So these guys come down. These guys come down and they're just into music, and they start talking to her, and they're like, well, what if we, and she plays a few notes, and they're like, they've got the video. These guys' eyes just light up, and they look at each other, and they're jumping around. They're like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And then they show you the show. They do it, the next night's show, the final show, they do with the complete organ. So that the organist is like, and they supposedly, if you're in a room with one of those things, you feel the way it moves the air, like in a way that no amount of speakers and amps or anything, because just the sheer volume of air moving through them. And I was like, that's music right there.
Yeah.
When it all comes together, and these pieces that you grab from all over the place create your sound, that's my joint right there.
I didn't give it a listen too much. Like, I only listened to a couple tracks, but Drake just dropped an electronic dance music album. And last night, I haven't had the chance. I haven't had the chance to go listen to it. But there was this EDM producer that was talking about. He was like, music is about to change or something like that. Because I listened to a couple tracks, and it was really nice. Like, what I heard was really, really dope. And I love when genres blend together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's the shit.
Yeah.
Give me Run DMC and Aerosmith all day long.
Right.
I'm constantly looking at stuff that I love, going, what if we cut it up like this? So now that I have a scalpel, it's alive. No, I could let me build Frankenstein, this monster. So I see your focus, and I see that you kind of found that. So you'd always had that love for music, but it was really just the opportunity sort of existed all of a sudden from the sound of it.
Yeah, exactly. And then from that point on, when I was doing like my own projects and stuff, a couple years ago, well, actually, yeah, about 2 years ago or whatnot, this country artist named Sarah Faith, she's an upcoming Nashville artist, but she needed a guitar replacement for like a couple of weeks of a show, so I went down there to Nashville for that. So that was kind of a cool little experience.
Oh, no doubt. That's good connections too.
Yeah.
That's you know what I mean. That gets you.
Not me. I
how'd
was
she
a
find
little
you?
like flabbergasted.
How'd she find you?
She said that she was actually going through guitar players or whatnot on I forget this one website, but she saw that my name was like a recommendation on there, so then she reached out and she sent me some of like her material, and then I sent some videos of me playing it, and then from that point on I kind of went down there. We literally did just one rehearsal together and then threw me in the fire. It's like, okay, but it was a dope time. Nashville's a cool spot.
Oh, Nashville's amazing. Nashville's one of the, okay, so like I said, we were talking earlier, and I've been all over east of the Mississippi, and no, the funny thing is the wildest part about if you go down there to crap. All of a sudden, I'm not going to remember Grand Ole Opry.
Oh,
There we go.
Oh,
Whew,
there you
got
go.
it out of my
yeah,
mouth.
Grand Ole Opry. Come
Damn,
on.
got it out of
That's
my
where
mouth.
I want to play one of these days. That's my goal.
So I've been in and
personal
around and
goal.
all over it, and I've been through the back, back through the back of the hotel. I picked up all the computers for the company that runs all of that.
Okay.
So I went to all of their offices, but the funny thing is, the hotel that faces the mall, you go in the back, and they actually do all of the laundry for almost every hotel in the city there, because their laundry setup is so
Really?
oh my dude, it's worth going to see this laundry setup. I'm telling you.
It's worth going to see for the laundry itself.
I'm going to the Grand Ole Opry, and what I really need to see is the laundry.
Excuse me. I know I'm playing here later, but I was wondering. I was told I needed to see the laundry.
Yeah, I need
You
to
make
see
a
the
point.
laundry. I'll be like,
No,
"Can you throw in
listen
some
to
of my
me.
whites, by
Listen,
the
you got to
way?"
make a point of doing
Bosh,
that when you play there.
I've got to put this in your head now. I'm gonna make it stick forever. When you play the Grand Ole Opry, when you're there, I need you to look at them and you need to say, "I can't play it. It is on my rider that I must see the laundry set up for the hotel if you want me to play."
Yeah. Be like, I even brought a load of my laundry in.
And
See
no
what that boy
fucking
can do.
and no brown M&Ms, bitch.
No brown M&Ms.
Yeah.
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 Have you ever heard the explanation for why Van Halen had that rider?
No.
It's because their show required a ton of technical detail. And
Okay.
every piece had to be exactly the way they needed it. And they knew if you walked into the dressing room and there were brown M&Ms,
They didn't,
don't do
Yeah.
the show.
because they didn't
They
pay attention
to the details.
Yeah.
It was not about brown M&Ms. It was about, we have very specific things we're asking you to do.
Right.
And we know that if we get to this stupid task and you're
And
not
you don't
doing
do it, that
we-
means you probably ignored some stuff back
we
here.
don't know where the lazy
Yeah.
shit is in between, but we know your ass sent us some brown M&Ms. And so you're out the door. You just leave. They didn't meet the rider.
Fuck.
But it makes sense when you hear the story, doesn't it? It's brilliant. It's like, oh damn, they didn't explain it until years after. So I assume that they used it all the way through because you'd hear about it.
That is smart. I'm gonna have to
Because
take that.
in the '80s, it was the weird thing that, do you know that Van Halen doesn't allow brown M&Ms in their dressing room? And you were like, that's weird. That sounds like a power trip. I mean, there were all these rumors about what a power trip Eddie and everything was on, like brown M&Ms. That's stupid. And then eventually, I think it was a manager that came out and explained the whole thing. Like, they're not doing it anymore. Eddie's dead, for instance. But
Yeah.
so I mean, that's kind of playing around, but it's serious. It's the work side. But
Yeah.
the question is,
How do you play?
This one can go in like so many directions, you know.
yeah, that it's the Rorschach test of questions. That the questions in their own right give you some space to define who you are, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yep. Like I said, I first learned the guitar at a young age. I wanted to learn the guitar at a young age. From when I was like 3 or 4, I knew that that's what I wanted to do. And I was kind of stubborn about just wanting to focus on one instrument. Then as I kind of got older, I kind of grew more of an appreciation for like the keyboards, the drums, the ukulele, and I kind of just wanted to end up learning everything. So like in my music room right now, I got a crap ton of guitars. I got a keyboard, I got a ukulele, I got a bass guitar, electronic drum set. Like I just nailed all the instruments at that point.
You know what? There's something to be said for it. And you know, and even especially on the play side, that I think no matter what you're doing creatively, that there's something about being able to achieve that spot where it's playful. That, you know, especially in, you know, whether it's a new instrument or whether it's, for me, it's writing and it's drawing and it's, I operate in a couple other mediums, but it's that some of the most amazing things come out of the days where I'm just going, oh, let me doodle this. When
you let go of all like when you let go of all your, I don't know, like pressure you know?
Where it's not, oh, this has to come out.
Yeah, and you kind of just play around. I've found that some of my best stuff comes out of when I was just playing around.
We used to use that for a while.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bosh.
No, I'm saying, as you were saying, just playing around and just fiddling around, because it gives you more of a creative flow. You don't feel so pressured and put on for this or that. You know, you can kind of just go with the motions a little bit.
They tease me because I'll go, well, why don't we put on karaoke? And not because I'm going to sing karaoke, but I argue that artists get a ton, especially vocalists, out of singing karaoke.
I found that singing along to music and karaoke are like the two best ways I've found to practice my singing.
Well, you find a voice and you try doing stuff that you don't
try to do stuff
you don't care if you screw
don't normally
up,
do. Yeah.
You know, because you're at a bar singing karaoke. Who the hell cares? Or you're hanging out with friends singing karaoke. Nobody gives a shit.
Right.
And so you'll try to do crap that Freddie Mercury did, or you'll try and sing some Elton John and get there to a note you can't
Realistically,
get to.
you're not gonna get there, but you're still gonna push your voice.
Journey. Gee, it's not gonna happen.
Right.
Well, right. But you push your voice to places it's not as comfortable. Make sure we're up on Facebook, please.
Okay.
What the? That, you know what, you can find, and it's funny because we do it with rap too. We do it with hip hop. We do it not just with rock. That the combination of finding different sounds you can make. It's like playing. It's just like playing with a guitar or playing with a drum kit or playing with the bass or the uke. That you got to play with those notes. You know, you got to try what happens when I push it out hard. What happens when I push it out barely? Give us just a minute.
Exactly. When you bend a string versus, just pressing down,
we're good to go.
Sorry, we were
checking.
We had a weird connectivity
live.
issue.
Sometimes
we were live, but my computer was looking like it wasn't, and so I had to go. Sorry. That was what that weird, we were mid-conversation, all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I saw a screen go black. And I was like, what the hell? That screen's not supposed to...
No.
Right.
Just my luck, damn it. Just my luck.
We are up. It has been, you know what, maybe... God, I was blaming us. You're right, it's Bosh. It was Bosh's fault all along. We haven't had those problems with anybody else. It's obviously...
I'll tell you what, we did have it one time.
The bad juju.
The bad juju?
The bad juju, yeah.
There is no bad juju. There's only good juju. There's only good juju.
Nah, there's just juju. Just juju.
You know what? That's true. We shall see. You never know. You'll get like a pile of gold dropped in your lap, and then next thing you know, somebody kills you and takes it.
Somebody takes a dump in your lap,
Whoa. That got grumpy really quick.
God, who's taking the dump? God.
Hey, listen, pile of gold, dump. It's the world is about dichotomies, man. It's about
between
balance.
dump and gold is Amber and Heard.
Okay.
So last year I did a show. I was at this bar called Spanos. I think it's in Kent, Ohio, or whatnot. But speaking of dumps, okay. So there was this meth head woman or whatnot. You could tell she was tripping on something or whatnot. But after the show, she came up to a bunch of guys at the bar, and she's like, I'll pay someone to take a shit on my stomach. And I'm like, oh heck no.
Wow.
What the heck?
Wow, that leaves me craving blue waffles.
I know. I'm like, God.
So,
and then there was this 80-year-old man, and he's like, I wouldn't mind laying some gravel down. I'm like, I gotta get out of here.
I wouldn't mind laying some gravel down.
He's like, I gotta go. I don't need to be here anymore.
4 dead in Ohio. That's what happened in Kent that night.
That's what happened in Kent that night. Right?
That's just in the world of how can you bring around a Kent reference.
Went
but
down
anyway,
in Kent that night.
No, well. Anyway, so you work, you play. How do you pray, brother? What does that mean to you?
At first, I was not I was always a religious person. I always believed there's a heaven and earth, but until I really grew up, and it all started with my high school breakup and whatnot, and me losing my college scholarship through depression and everything, and it got me into music.
We relate to that.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and I had like super bad depression, and that's when I really started, writing my own music, really saying, hey, I want to do live music and stuff like that. And then I really started, praying more, turning my faith in God, and he kind of, I feel like without him right now, I actually don't know what I'd be doing or who I would be right now, but he's definitely helped me through some tough times. And when me and my ex-fiance broke up last year, is
that
I
Sarah?
turned to him for a lot of things. No, that was a girl, Keely. Sarah's the latest.
Oh, okay.
Latest
I did read that, and I was like, and somebody in the audience said, "F Sarah," and I was like, okay.
Yeah. Let me tell you that story real quick, and then I'll go back.
Okay.
So after me and my ex-fiance broke up, I didn't want to picture myself with like anyone else but her, obviously, because it's like
you were down to marry her,
everything.
so yeah, I get it.
You got to be down a couple wives before it starts getting easy. Trust me.
Yeah. So
I'm only on the second one.
You got to be like Ric Flair out here, going through like 7 of them.
Well, it ends up they're like tires; they wear down. You get them replaced every so often.
Oh my god! This is so, I'm so hopeful about the world now.
You check the rubber on them and see that it's a little low, and like,
you guys are making me so hopeful about the world now.
It's like Tire America. There's a Whore America you can go to if you have more money.
Oh my gosh!
I believe it's somewhere in Eastern Europe. Oh my god, that's wrong.
Oh my god, that's so bad.
Oh my god.
So you were saying you've been praying more. You've been praying more. You're a little closer to God these days.
Yes. And real quick about the Sarah thing, real quick. So,
okay, a discussion about God and Sarah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, just because you brought up the FU video.
You're perfect. I'd love. No, I actually go ahead. I was just teasing you, man. You're fine.
So, after the ex-fiance, I finally, started talking to her and stuff, and it was going super well and whatnot. And then literally, she gave me the story how we were supposed to make plans for this whole weekend trip or whatnot. And then miraculously, she's like, "Oh, I just got my wisdom teeth taken out, and yada yada, not gonna make it or whatnot." So me and the homeboys, we split up to her house, and I literally, shit you not, caught her red-handed getting railed. And from that point on, I'm like, fuck this bitch.
Well, no, she didn't say the whole park was closed. She just said one ride.
Yeah, exactly.
You misunderstood was all. The park was still open and she was taking tickets. That's so bad.
Yeah, then me, it's fucking.
I can't see the wisdom teeth in
that,
man.
One door may be closed, but guess what? Another one's going to be open, baby,
that is what she said.
Oh my god.
So that shit, that night, me and the bandmates, we came to my house. I got on the piano. We wrote a new ballad called "Alone," and we played that at that bar we were playing at last weekend. And then that fan said, "Fuck you, Sarah." I'm like, hell yeah. I'm like, I love you guys.
It's good to feel support. It's you know what, and that's a lot of where prayer goes. The reality is that I find in whatever form of meditation, and I talk to people with a lot of different thoughts on divinity, that believe that believing in something bigger than you. That I don't debate whether it's astrophysics or Zoroastrianism, that we're all trying to describe the same thing, and then we get in debates over the specifics and the nomenclature, that we debate the words. That for me, I can't look on the beauty of the universe and not see something divine. I can't look at all living things and not see an innate divinity. And I'm very connected with that. And the wild thing is, as much as everybody approaches that from different directions. What I find over and over again is it's when you reach a place, whether you're an atheist or a deist, where what you feel is that equanimity, that love and connection to the rest of it, that is there for you and that you are there for and part of, that the God in everything and part of everything and the connection, if you will. That I think no matter what, there's you can feel an energy that's an amazing thing when people connect.
I think in every human I've ever seen, in every person I've ever spoken to, I've seen a spark of perfection, or what you could call God. Like there's a sliver of that in everything. In everything you see, there's a little bit of God in it.
My favorite George Carlin quote is, "If you are willing to take the time to look deeply into the eyes of another human being, you cannot help but see the universe."
That's deep.
Wow.
That's deep.
And, the reality is, wow. And meanwhile, we're all looking down.
Right. We've all got our heads down, not looking at each other, not paying attention to each other. And
my theory is the way we change the world, and it's not, but you don't have to not have a phone. I don't mean that, but you have to look up when you're talking to somebody. Talk to them, look them in the eyes. It is a secret of charisma. If you want to know what Bill Clinton's big secret was, it was that when you talk to somebody, talk to them, make the rest of the room disappear, and so that everybody would comment on the fact that when you were talking to Bill Clinton, it felt like a very personal, very close thing. And the reality is, the biggest part of that is if you just look into their eyes. Ross over here has learned to go about half asleep staring into my eyes, so I think he gives a crap. But I know he's actually sleeping.
I'm not asleep. I just zoned out.
He's like, he did look me one day. He goes, "Just so you know, I perfected zoning out while looking somebody in the eyes."
It's the perfect thing. Unless they're talking directly at you, and then it's like, okay, you need to pay attention. You need to look them in the eyes and actually pay. You need to be here,
Right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He took too much melatonin. That's why.
Well, it's a big part of being on stage too. That being able to build that connection with an audience isn't something that just innately happens.
Yeah.
Which brings up for me, what do you love?
Well, first and foremost, I tell everyone this. I preach on it. I still think family is the most important thing in everyone's life and the backbone. Without family, it's like, really, what do you got? To a certain degree.
Well, and I'm gonna tell you a secret here. I've made a point. I've actually had people that were disturbed by this. I call everybody brother, not gender specific. Actually, I call guys brother. I wish I could get away with sister, but I'm just a little too light toned. That it doesn't come across right. "What's up, sister?" And they look at me like, "I don't think you're supposed." Yeah, you don't say it. Yeah, that's
I don't say it.
You can't pull off sister. You're too light skinned.
Yeah, well, no, it's not that. It's more that when you say sister, it kind of closes off the possibility of things happening. So I would rather not close off those possibilities.
I don't call no woman sister until she's already told me she won't sleep with me. No.
Yeah, pretty much. There you go.
No.
There you go.
And then I don't ask again until she's stuck in the dryer.
No.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Come on.
Yeah, that reference. Yeah, come on. The old stuck in the dryer reference.
It's my fault that everybody gets that reference. It's my fault.
No,
I'm in charge of the internet.
No,
and that's why everybody knows about stepsisters.
Everybody knows the reference, okay? We're all not innocent.
That's literally what my friend said when we found out Sarah was cheating. They're like, "Oh, she got stuck in the dryer. She had to get some help." I'm like, "Oh my god, the old dryer joke."
Come
what? Come on, people.
Everybody loves a town bike.
Oh my god.
Everybody takes a ride.
Oh my god.
Hey, you're like the door handle.
You were saying about family.
Well, so my point is
family and getting railed. Oh no, what?
That's how families are made.
That's how families are made.
Bada bing, bada boom, all the way back around to the circle.
The circle of life.
when I read, and for me it was the Sermon on the Mount that hit me, that Christ is forsaking mom and dad, and I'm not attached to any particular sect, actually. I don't. I like wisdom wherever I can find it, and so I'm a big one on wisdom not having a singular, maybe having a singular source, but maybe not a singular written source, if that makes sense to you. Oh, I see somebody trying to communicate something here. But where he goes, because you are all as my brother and sister. You're all my family. That I'm trying to, I'm making the point of, no, even my parents here, see, we're equals. We're all children of God.
Yep.
And so my point in calling everybody brother, especially the biggest assholes, is to remind me that they're family. And so when I think the backbone of our world
is family. Because everybody's trying to make it for their family. Everybody's trying to do something for their family. And if you treat the world like your family, you're gonna be a very compassionate person. You're gonna constantly look for ways to help people. You're gonna constantly look for ways to help out the world.
Well, 7.5 billion leaves on one tree.
Yeah.
But in the end, we got to take care of the root.
Yeah.
And now we're back to Sarah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, God, now we're back to Sarah.
Oh my God.
But yeah, even with family, just even if they're not blood, they're so like
that.
Like blood doesn't make you family. It's loyalty and that compassion.
Well, we talk about crew versus posse. That you don't want a posse. You don't want a bunch of people running around behind you that say yes.
Mm-hmm.
Are you listening, Kanye? What you want is a crew. You want people that you love being creative with. That'll tell you when you're full of shit. That will tell you when that girl wasn't the right girl anyways. That will, you see what
Right.
You don't want guys like, oh yeah, you want guys that'll tell you how it is. So.
Exactly.
We love family. What do you fear, brother?
This is one that's kind of tricky because I don't want to say that I don't fear anything because I mean
you can
I
say
guess
that if
it's
you
like
want
something
to.
comes to it. Well, I mean, the real reason I don't like fear anything is because it gets back to, the roots and my prayer in God. I just think that, like, no matter what gets thrown my way or whatnot, God's not gonna put too much on your plate that you can't handle,
You know what? Problem versus challenge.
So,
yeah,
Of course, there's going to be challenges in front of you, but those aren't problems. Those are things that are challenges, and you'll overcome them.
I learned from a young age that I can handle anything if I care enough about getting through it. If I put my mind to the fact that it will at one point or another it will be over, and it will get to a point where it's come to a resolution, I can get through just about anything.
The worst things in my life that have ever happened, I actually survived.
Right. I just sit in that thought for a second. It's monumental to know that everything that's terrible about your life you live through.
You're a tough bastard.
Yeah.
That in the end, those things that you look back and go, oh my God, that happened and that happened and that happened. You made it through that.
Right. So you don't have to be so afraid of everything. You don't have to.
Well, and I thought of Anthem pointing out from Kenya that the trick is you can't think of life as having problems. There are challenges. There are things to overcome. Of course there are.
Right.
This is an obstacle course, but that if you start thinking, oh man, my problems, that's different than I'm overcome. I've got challenges. And that was, I'll tell you, worth listening to is a buddy of ours, Anthem Republic. It's Republic with a Q, and man, that's a different world. The guy sings about knowing the bullets for breakfast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Knowing the difference between real bullets and rubber bullets by the time you're 3. Not because anybody in your family's in the army, but because you know them from picking them up off the ground. Powerful.
Yeah,
like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Crazy.
And it gives you perspective because the idea of, I don't walk around going, I fear things. I mean, when I talk about fear, the thing I talk about is whether or not I'll have my words. The communication is so key to me, and I'm like, finally
Exactly.
at
Communication is a
yeah,
big.
the idea of losing that scares me. The idea of not being able to do what I'm doing
Yep.
is the one that, because I kind of feel the clock a little bit more now, and I'm desperate to plant the seeds that are gonna, grow the trees that I'm never gonna see. That when I think
Yep.
about what we're doing in the studio, what we believe in is not the idea that we're building something for me or for Ross and I to have a voice. Not that we don't have great dreams for Ross's musical plans, but our goal is to build a concept that means there are places and communities where people can be heard, where real stories are told, where the musicians that you were never going to hear get a place to play their music. And what that does is that then builds residuals into a studio that is there for more people. And then you build other studios in other places, and we begin to hear real stories from real people instead of what people decide we're supposed to hear. Like
the Facebook life.
the fake life, the good mask life. That everybody's sure, everybody's living
Yep.
like this. And 201, everybody I'm talked to has talked about depression and anxiety and how they've worked through it. And
Right.
it's an interesting thing when people take off their masks. We all look around and go, oh, I was busy trying to play that I was perfect because I thought you were perfect. And then we all look around and go, oh, no, we're perfect because none of us are perfect. Let's leave the masks off. This is kind of fun. Let's talk about who we really are. Fuck that bullshit we were doing.
Yep.
So, what do you think you know? What have you gleaned from this life that, if you had to pass on the thing you've learned or the things you've learned, what would it be?
Number one is keep your circle small. I'd rather have 5 great friends. They could be family members or whatever the concept is. 5 great friends that are there for you whenever you need them, vice versa, got your back 100%, then have 50, like we were talking about earlier, then have 50 fake friends that are just going to say yes, do whatever you want. It's really about having a core and a backbone in your life. That's what I've kind of...
There's an ability to stand up for the fact that you have to have space to exist. That's one of our biggest, ideas, I guess, is the idea that trying to create a space where people can feel like they can exist as who they are, so that you end up with this, the creativity is richer. People are bringing what they're really feeling, and B, it's like, so our podcast is called Where's the Line? And the whole point of it is talking about the things and trying to figure out what life really means. Right. Saying stuff, it's why, Matt, it's how we deal with the fact that I'm always over the line and I'm always saying crazy things. That I'm always looking. Well, we've been talking
for the line, yeah.
Well, that in my head, we've been talking about the idea. I work in the DMZ. That I want to make, when there are 2 parties that don't get along, I want to be the guy in the middle, pissing them both off and making them think. Or making them both think about how they don't want to be pissed off anymore. It doesn't. But either way, I want to be playing that middle ground. That
exactly.
I want to, because we were talking about, that's where Chappelle works.
I walk the line.
When you think about it, it's bringing you something.
Shout out to Johnny Cash.
Always, I walk the line. Dun, dun, dun. Oh my God. You know what? Okay. What do you wish you knew?
Sorry, you had me in a mid-drink.
Oh, that's okay. There's no problem with
what?
What do you wish you knew?
No problem with mid-drink. What I wish I knew.
What do you know, actually?
I don't know. This one can go all over the place with me too. It kind of gives me a little room to chat for a bit. That's why I kind of like these questions, because you can go pretty much like anywhere with it. You don't have to just pick one spot and stay on that road,
That's the goal. That it's real. It gives a person a room to exist.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really, for what do I want to know? I guess I should say what I know now, I kind of wish I knew at a younger age, and that would have helped me, helped me through a lot of stuff. If what I know now, I knew back when I was 14, 15, yada, yada,
I get you.
Yeah.
I get you. The Back to the Future dream.
Right?
You know,
If I could go talk to,
Yeah.
if I could go talk to the younger me, what would I tell him?
The weird thing is, you know what? Oddly, I've gotten to a place I wouldn't change it. That's what got me here. And you know what? In the end, if I went and tweaked and made the things that hurt less, I wouldn't have learned those lessons as well. That
Exactly. Everything happens for a reason too, you know.
Well, that it's all like people talk about. Oh, I'm not on my path. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. No matter where you're at, you're on your path. You can't get off it. Sorry.
Yeah.
I always joke about if there are speed bumps in your life, you should probably slow down. You're probably entering a school zone, and you might need to learn something. You know that. So I had this epiphany coming up on 50. It was that all of a sudden it laid out. It made sense. That all of a sudden you could look back and go, oh, okay. That you could look at this failed relationship or this or the other or this experience there and go, because it was literally it was a staring into a mirror. I'd been fighting with God for about 25 years over some stuff he said he wanted me to do. This, for instance. You know, the official change of the world seemed like a lot on my plate at 25. I was, fighting for custody of a kid, and there's a lot going on. I told God to F off.
Yeah.
I said, dude, I got things going on. I mean, literally, this is the conversation in my head. It's like, dude, I got things going on. And for every few years, I'd write the experience down again. I wrote it down over and over again for 25 years and said, oh, if this is really in my head, how would I deal with this?
Right.
That's where we're at now.
Right.
So I go pissed off to high heaven. And I'm not going to say, as an amateur pharmacologist, there may be recreationally non-prescribed medicinals that may have been used in the process. I'm not saying I'm a fun guy, but that may have been part. So you go to the mirror, pissed, angry. I'm going to go tell God off. I'm tired of fighting for you for 25 years. I'm done with this shit. Why are you fighting with me, God? I walk out 2 minutes later laughing my ass off about what a conceited asshole I am for thinking that somehow my little ass is what the universe is spending its day on. Oh yeah, I've been fucking with you. No. I've been at school for 25 years learning the things I needed to be able to do what I'm doing today with you.
Exactly.
And so as much as if I knew then what I know now, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm telling you that night I was sure it was going to, I've never had one of those, what do they call it when you go on Greyhound and it's like going a place you didn't mean to go to and you get there and you realize, oh, that's a bad trip. I've never had one of those. And so I was sure this night with all of my anger was finally going to be my Greyhound bus to somewhere I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
Right.
If you follow my analogy.
I've only ever found out things about myself. Like I remember one time I looked in the mirror and I saw my dad, and it scared the life out of me. I was very scared of that, and it was because like I feel like I needed to learn something at that moment. I needed to know something.
Exactly.
And I wouldn't have learned that had I not looked in the mirror that day.
Right?
Like just the randomest things can teach you something.
Well, it's why I've always called myself an amateur pharmacologist as opposed to somebody that wants to. I've always, it's a seeking, not. It's never been a, oh, can I get?
Yeah.
Yeah. But the most moving thing was the sudden realization that all of these things that were crap along the way, it was always school all along.
Yep.
It was always all lesson. It was always building who I am, and so does this. Like a conversation with you grants me the ability to have that additional perspective. That when you realize that your own perspective is more than willing to lie to you to like keep your brain happy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Suddenly, I wanted to see through everybody else's eyes, and artists, especially musicians, hand that to me on a plate. It's already they're like, hey, by the way, here's my blood and guts. Would you like to look at them?
So.
Yep.
Bosh Nelson, why are you here?
Okay. Yeah, this was the one I was waiting for. My good buddy of mine, good family friend of mine, Jamie Lane, who passed away, rest in peace. But he told me one of these days, a while back, he was like, he's like, we're all here put in this world for a reason, and that got me thinking. It's like, what is my reason for being here? And I think so many people, so many of my friends say that like I'm one of the like nicest people in the world, and they're like, you shouldn't be so nice because people will walk all over you. But I feel like that's kind of the reason why I'm here. If someone needs to reach out, I'm gonna help them. I'm a caring guy. I'll listen to. There's not many people in the world anymore. Everyone's so selfish. Or what can that person do for me? We need more people that can be willing to give and give back.
And stop and listen. Literally,
Definitely.
You know what? There's a Vietnamese monk that passed away recently, Thich Nhat Hanh, that used to say the most valuable gift you could give another person was compassionate listening. The idea of spending time with a person and not looking to give them solutions or answers, but just to
hear them.
That
exactly. Sometimes all you need is just someone to listen to what you got going on.
And I'm going to tell you straight up that I've also heard that speech about how you're too nice. And my answer was always a very simple one. It was, listen, every morning the universe gives me an option. The world can change me, or I can change the world. And I've decided the most powerful thing I can do is over and over and over again going, hey, have you met my friends? Have you met Bosh? Be easy.
I will say,
Nelson.
I really like you guys' answers, but the best answer to "you're too nice" is nah. I just like to sleep at night.
That's so true. It's the
best
selfish answer. I agree.
I just like to sleep at night. I'm good.
I ain't carrying nothing when I go to bed, and I sleep better for it.
Yeah, I don't gotta be mean. I don't have to be mean. I was gonna choose another word,
What'd you
but
say,
I don't
Richard?
have to be mean. Yeah. So before,
exactly. It's like there's already so much hatred and meanness and just nastiness in the world. It's like why would I want to be a part of that?
Right. Well, one of the things we
it all
talk
starts
about
with one person.
Yeah. Absolutely. That when we were talking about like forest fires and stuff, you can't fight a fire at the hottest point.
You have to fight it from the edge
and push it back.
Yep, exactly.
And that's, you know what? We just keep building these connections.
Yep. So before we get out of here, do you got anything you want to plug? Anything you want to push? Go ahead.
Yes, I do want to say a couple things. Me and the guys were working on a new album called The Way Life Goes, and it's pretty much ballad after ballad after ballad. We're kind of a ballad heavy band because I always say it's like I'd rather play a song for a girl that she's going to relate to instead of playing a house show in front of a bunch of dudes. That's just how I am,
Well,
man after the lady's heart.
Oh shoot! And see, I'm gonna do it again. It's the Robin Williams movie where he's the teacher at the all-boys school, and for some reason I can't think of the name of that thing ever anymore. But what he looks at them and says is, "Words were made for one thing: the wooing of women." Now, and whatever your preference out there in the world, in the end, words, however you use them, art, however you make it, it's about the wooing. I've heard a million different excuses for why. Dead Poet Society. A million different excuses for why people make art, but especially if I see you with a guitar in your hand, I know what you're thinking about. And you know what, Melissa Etheridge, I see you too.
Yeah.
So you've got a new. Go ahead, keep going.
No. What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna ask. So where can they find the album right now?
Right now we're still
recording on it. Good deal.
Still recording on it. It's probably end of summer, but we do got our new or album from last year out called Taylor. And if you just search Bosh Nelson Taylor, that can be like on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. But real quick, I think since both you guys are believers in Christ and everything, when I was down for that Nashville trip, I was talking to a musician down there about my ex-fiance at the time, because that was when we first broke up and it was fresh and whatnot. And he gave me a huge line. He's like, "You want to know what's funny?" He's like, "The Lord forgives us every day for our sins. Then how come she can't forgive you for one of yours?" And that just like got me thinking. I had to write that song Lord, if you can forgive me, then why can't she? And that I think that's going to be like the big mark on her album. I'm excited for that song.
And I'm going to give you next level on that. I'm going to give you next level.
Okay.
Lord, if you can forgive me, why can't I?
Ooh. Yeah.
Closer to home now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Depression, anxiety, we've got it, brother. I'll shoot an arrow at you that'll land every time. I know exactly how you're feeling, man.
Yep.
But it's meaningful. It's that.
Yep.
I know who beats on me the hardest.
That's why I'm excited about this album, because it's all raw. It's all just emotions. You know, it's gonna be good.
I'm excited. That sounds friggin' awesome. And I'll be honest. You've braved the gauntlet. Dun, dun, dun. You've made it through the hot ones. Get hotter. Challenge of questions. Do, do, do. La, 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 la. Prizes are, you know what? No, but we'll have you back and we'll play some music and we'll sit and talk and we'll do, like, we'll get you hooked up with the Discord. And I'm telling you, send anybody our way. You know what? If you've got an old guy that you know that has the best stories of World War II, God, I'm getting old. Maybe you might hear Vietnam now. My grandfather told World War II, and he's not here. But literally,
and my grandpa knew a little bit about World War II, so he's still kicking around. So God bless him.
And very much, and that's the point. But kind of, we love talking to people. If there's a story out there you run into, and other musicians, you know what? Send Sarah our way. Other reasons, but no.
Yeah. That's kind of why the whole album, real quick, is kind of, we were supposed to get it done the end of this month. We had the 10 tracks laid out, and then that whole Sarah situation happened, and we think that song's too good not to be on it. So that's kind of why
I've heard these excuses before. Kim K left you, and it's slowing you down. I understand. I've seen that happen. I know this is going to be the release date. Don't, and then you push it, and then
right.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
You Hollywood guys, you guys with your sneakers. I don't know what to do. Oh my God, Bosh, I've had an amazing time. I'm going to wrap it up a little bit, move it in a direction, and I'm just. No, really, I had an amazing time, and I look forward to doing.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I do appreciate it greatly.
Oh, you know what? The greatest gift anybody can give me in this world is their time, and you've already given me that gift. It's very meaningful to me. I literally mean that. That over and over again, people will say thanks, and no, I don't know how. I'm not as good as accepting it as I am trying to explain how much gratitude I have, how thankful I am that this is
exactly
moving the way it is. Dude, that's beautiful. Yep. Everybody, we will be back tomorrow at 9 a.m.
At 9 a.m. Yes, we will be back.
Is this Kazoo?
No, this isn't Kazoo.
This is not Kazoo guy?
No.
Who is this?
I can play you some of his music.
What? Who? Did you have a name?
Kevin Sencion.
Kevin Sencion will be on with us tomorrow at 9 a.m. Braving the Gauntlet?
Yes, Braving the Gauntlet.
Braving the Gauntlet.
Yes.
It's scary, isn't it, Bosh? Do you feel overwhelmed? Like, I got to get off, take a nap now. I've gone through hell and back again.
Yeah, God. I took my road trip. I just got home, damn it. Come on now.
Rest up. Do whatever you have to do to relax. And you know what? We'll look forward to talking again soon. You can hang on the line. I'm just going to wrap up the end real quick. Do.
Sounds good.
Do. I know, right? And then what happens is Facebook's kind of it's got like a 20-second delay, so you got to kind of wait for it to hit Facebook, and then you go, oh, there it is. There's my grandson.